IPv6 addresses. In this video, I'm going to talk about another type of Unicast IPv6 addresses that we call it link local address or LLA. Look at here. We have link local address or LLA. Don't forget that we don't have any direct for example, counterpart of link local address in IPv4. This is a new type of unicast IP address that invented in the IPv6, and we can use it for example only in IPv6. Link local address is a special type of address. We can use link local address only inside of a subnet or inside of a link or inside of a segment. Let me to talk about more about the link local address, the new address that is created, the new type of address that is created in the IPv6. Link local means only we can use this address in a link local address or LLA. Okay, I will talk about the syntax or general syntax of this IP address, but for now I want to show you some of the usage of the link local address. But don't forget that for understanding completely the usage of the link local address, we should solve, for example, many scenarios. We should experience this type of IPv6 address in the future videos. Because of that, in this video I want to talk about link local address basically, and after that, for example, a little configuration we can experience in this video. But in the future videos, we will learn more and more about the link local address when I will, for example, configuring some features. Okay, but for now we can talk about link local address. Look at here. You know that, for example, in IPv4 we have R1 that is connected to the R2. Okay, and if you want to enable, for example, some type of routing protocol, you need to give an IP address to interface of R1 and R2. For example, we should configure 10.121/24 as IP address of the interface of, for example, R1, and then in R2 10.122. Okay, if you want to do routing or send traffic from router R1 and router R2, you should configure an IP address in the R1's interface and also R2's interface. Maybe it's better to use /30 because only we need two IP address between these two routers. And now you know that maybe you experience this problem that you should configure, you should design many addresses for example, addressing between any routers. For example, maybe you have 10 or more than 10 link between routers. You should design many /30 IP address and then configuring them between routers. And maybe you worry about that. Maybe you are using the duplicate /30 address. Okay, maybe you experience this problems. Okay, in IPv6 we don't need to configure for an IP address between two routers and a global IP address between two routers, for example, to routing. It's so interesting. Look at here. In IPv6 we have some special type of IPv6 address, unicast IPv6 address, that we call it link local address. You can enable so easily a link local address on the interface of R1 and also R2. Link local address easily can be assigned to the interface of R1 and R2 with this command. Look at here. This is the first command in the IPv6 course that you are learning. Look at here, IPv6 enable. If you enable IPv6 in an interface, in every interface, automatically one IP address that we call it link local address selected for that interface. I will talk about how this link local address are assigned these interfaces, but the interesting thing is that this link local address is unique, okay? And also the link local address of R2's interface also is unique. This means that without any consideration, without any worry about the duplicate IP address, without the need any, for example, design of IPv6 address, only it's sufficient to you configure IPv6 enable on this interface, and then on this interface R1 and R2. Automatically a link local address created for these interfaces, and this link local address is unique, and you can use, for example, this link local address for routing. So interesting. You don't need, for example, if you have 10 routers with multiple links between them, you don't need to address all of these links. Only it's sufficient to use IPv6 enable in every interface, and after that all of the interfaces created one, for example, unique IPv6 address and can communicate with each other, for example, running a routing protocol or some other tools. So interesting. This is one of the usage of the link local address. I want to show you some of the usage of the link local address. Okay, now maybe you have a question, a right question, how link local address created is, and how you ensure that link local address is unique. Okay, we should talk about this question, but for now I want to say that this link local address uses the MAC address of the interface of R1. You know that the MAC address is unique. Because of that, link local address is also unique. And also in R2, both of these link local address are using the MAC address of its interfaces. Because of that, link local addresses every time are unique. So interesting. This is one of the usage, but link local address is a special type of address. This means that you can't use link local address to send the traffic outside of this network. Look at here. I want to talk about this feature because this is new in IPv6. You know that in IPv4, when you set an IPv4 address to an interface, you can use that IPv4 to communicate inside that subnet and outside that subnet. For example, look at, we have in R2 another interface, and this interface has IP address of 10.2.32/24. For example, this interface. Okay. In R1, you can use both of these commands. R1, okay, ping 10.1.2.2. With, you know that when you are using this command, a packet from the source of 10.1.2.1 should be created and sent to the 10.1.2.2. Okay, and also you can use the global IP or public IP to ping 10.2.3.2. This means that a packet again should be created from the source of 10.1.2.1 to the destination of the 10.2.3.2. Okay, we can use the public IP address, a normal IP address, to send traffic inside of this subnet and also outside of this subnet. We have the same IPv6 unicast address in the IPv6 world. We call it global unicast. I will talk about global unicast, but for now we are talking about the link local address. Link local address is a special type of address. You can use it only for the sending traffic to inside of your network. Because of that, you can use ping again and sending traffic to link local address of the router 2 in this, for example, subnet. And you can't use the link local address to send traffic to outside of this link. This is so important. Only you can use link local address in the link. Okay, link local means only available in the link. This is same as you have a first name. Okay, my first name is Arash. In my family, inside of my home, everybody call me Arash. Okay, but this is the name of me In my